Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I made a memory about your dad. He's in a book. Whoa, whoa. He has a history of skimming past all the pages of ageless confessional shit.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So Jace and Dedeker, how are you today?
I'm doing good. We are here at the last, the ultimate, the final chapters of Exodus. I almost said Genesis. It's Exodus.
You did that before. I
It
know.
is.
We're not there anymore.
But
we're in
but
Exodus.
y'all, we've gotten through 3 books of the Bible now.
Wow, I
Yeah,
know.
it's
What
amazing.
a concept.
Yeah, I can't even
So
believe
that's-
it.
What percentage? According to my reading plan, I think that's like at least 10%. At least.
No,
It's
more than
gotta
that,
be,
I thought.
Please. You think so? Let me double
Yeah.
check here on BibleStudyTools.com.
Okay. Well, we could also do
TM,
some
TM,
quick
TM.
math here. So this is episode 43 out of 365 episodes. So yes, more than 10%.
Wow, look at us go.
Maybe like 11,
There you go.
11-ish percent.
11-ish%. There you
Yeah.
go.
See,
That's exciting.
brilliant. Yeah.
Wow. Well, okay. I'm trying to remember what the heck happened last time in this book of books.
Uh-huh. It was
Anything
a lot
come into mind?
recap. Do you remember what we
Yeah, I
recapped
think-
last time?
More about the tent
Uh-huh.
and the ways in which the tent was made.
You remember for our bonus content, we watched that video of that
Yes.
size recreation of the tabernacle tent.
Yeah, and I was really surprised at how actually kind of small it was, but it makes sense for the time that was the best that they could do.
Well, and they also moved with it.
I don't know if
I
it's
mean,
the best they
that's
could
terrible.
do, but you got to make it still portable, right? It's got to be grandiose and a
And
glory
yet
to
portable.
God. Yet we got to be able to strike it all and break it down and carry it to the next location.
There was a lot of gold, that's for sure. Gold and brass and various other things. It was impressive, but not too impressive. They didn't want to go too overboard. Yeah.
Right.
Such
'cause they-
harsh judgment from Emily.
Well, they did because they told people to stop bringing their gold. They were like, "Chill,
We have enough."
Have enough."
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, and also I guess because it's God, in my head I was like, "Oh, it must be so amazing." And then when I saw it I was like, "Meh." But it's fine.
Jeez.
It's good.
But think about for the time you're living in a tent made out of goat hair, your tiny little tent for yourself, and then there's this
Yeah.
really special place where everything's covered in gold and
That's true.
the fine linen and the embroidery and the silver. I think it would be
and don't
pretty,
forget
pretty.
that it's made out of blue and purple and fine
Yes,
linens.
the blue and the purple and the
Yes.
crimson, and there's
You're
the menorah
right.
there.
What amazing
pretty-
colors.
It'd be pretty special. I think it would stand out, even though maybe it looks a little less impressive to us today in our modern day eyes, where we have modern technology and architecture and all those things.
Well, and we're coming from the land of Egypt, where they have friggin' massive, giant.
Oh, that's
Permanent
true.
structure.
Yeah,
structures.
good point.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So this is kind of smaller in terms of that, but it had its charm. It had a certain charm to it. So, okay, for this final episode, what are we all drinking?
Well, I am celebrating by making myself a very, very dirty martini.
Ooh. Yeah,
Uh,
that looks almost
dirty
green.
boy. That looks like it has
Goodness.
600 olives in it.
Yes, it has 3 olives in it, but you can also barely
600
see
or three.
through it because of how much olive juice I've put in here because I just love olives. So
Are you sure that's
Mm.
not going to make you sick? Is that going to get you through the rest of this episode?
I'm not drinking an entire glass of olive juice. I mean, not
It
that
looks
that
like
would
you
be
are,
a
though.
problem. No, it's just a martini with a lot of olive juice in it. And by a lot, I
All
mean
right.
a splash. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
There you go.
Well, I am drinking. This is from Magic Rock Brewing. It is a Dark Arts Surreal Stout.
Whoa.
And
cool.
It's covered in all these adorable little ghosties and monsters.
Oh, cute.
I definitely have a soft spot in my heart for stouts, and it tastes surreal yet delicious.
There you go.
Surreal
exciting.
yet delicious. Is that your description or just what they wrote on the can?
That's my description. You're welcome.
Okay. Wow.
See,
They should hire
Yeah,
you
I
to
love
write
it.
their copy.
there you go. Boo always was your favorite Mario character.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's a perfect beer for you. I am drinking this Pinot Grigio, which had the grape, or I guess the skin of the grape left on it. So it's this like really intense pink color.
Yeah,
And it's
it looks like a
great. It's
rosé
fantastic.
or something, but
It
it's
does,
not.
but it's not. It's a Pinot Grigio with the skin left on, and it's from Italy, and it's fantastic, and I love it.
Nice.
It's a great drink to be having at the end of Exodus. I almost said Genesis 2, Dedeker. Why?
As we're exodusing out of the exodusing. And speaking of that, what exactly are we reading today, Jace?
Yes, today, if you hadn't picked up on it already through context clues, we are reading the final 2 chapters of Exodus, which is chapters 39 and 40. They made it a nice even 40. So thank you, writers of Exodus.
Do they do that a lot? Is that something that we're going to see like a nice round number at the end, or are they like, and 27 and we're done?
That I don't know. We'd have to
Yeah.
consult. There's some people who are really into like numerology and the Bible, and
Oh
I'm
boy,
sure there's
yeah.
some theories that come out of that. We'll have to dive into that at another point.
Well, you
Yeah.
can name like all of the books of the Old Testament, right?
No, I can only name the New Testament. That's the one that stuck from Sunday school. Old
Oh.
Testament is gone.
Okay. Well, you can name
Yeah.
the Torah.
Well, yeah, 'cause that's only 5 books.
I mean,
Okay,
everyone
well,
everyone
that's
can
still
name the books
impressive.
of the Torah. Come on.
Everyone
me.
in the land.
Not me. Ugh, whatever. Okay, anyways.
All right, let's get into it. Let's bring it home, my son, wayward son. I've really mixed my metaphors there. I don't even know what I'm doing. This olive juice is getting to me. All right, as we start, we want to remind everyone to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
And you can drink your olive juice along with us, or you can listen while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time. We know how bad olive juice is for you. No, we're kidding. We're kidding. And with that, let's get into Exodus 39. Of the blue, purple, and scarlet, they made finely worked garments for ministering in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron as Yahweh commanded Moses.
Okay, so now we're getting into the recap of the stuff that Aaron is going to wear as the priest man.
I still feel like, why didn't Aaron get the shaft after, like, making the golden calf? Nobody cared. Everyone
You're
was
still
like,
calling
yeah,
for the destruction of Aaron. What do you think they should have done with Aaron?
I don't know. I'm just surprised that nothing happened when, like, things happened to, like, random people who spill their seed, but nothing happened to
That's a good
Aaron, who, like,
point.
committed quite a sin, you know? It was one of the sins of the Old Testament. What is it?
He's a named character, and this isn't Game of Thrones. I feel like there's less of a commitment to like killing off the people that you're already attached to. And I feel like we've gotten a little attached to Aaron at this point because he's been there with Moses from the beginning, of helping him out, being his mouthpiece.
I'm with
I'm
Emily.
not
here.
saying-
no.
I'm not
you're being
saying that
too
it's
soft on
justified.
crime. You're soft on crime. I've been watching I've been watching a lot of The West Wing lately, so
I'm okay, whatever. I'm okay being soft on crime. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying from a literary standpoint,
nah.
we got to
We
keep this
can't
character
kill Aaron
around.
off.
This would have been
Yeah,
a
he's
great
not
plot
Ned Stark.
twist. God sets all this up and then kills Aaron at the last minute and subs in
Hey, we have
someone
2 more
else.
chapters, so maybe it'll happen.
That would be pretty rough. He's like, okay, yeah, you're going to wear this thing, and there's the ephod, there's the onyx stones, there's like the blue and the purple and the twine, fine, twine linen, and then concrete shoes.
I see.
What?
So God's a
To, like,
mafia
walk in-
boss.
To, like, walk into a, what? Concrete shoes? What?
Like the mafia, put him in concrete shoes and have him take a short walk off a long plank or something like that, or a long walk
okay,
off
I
a short
see.
plank.
Yeah,
Just-
I was like, is he
they're
going to
gonna kill
Virginia
Aaron
Woolf
at the very
himself or
end.
something?
No.
Wow, you
Maybe
guys.
we should just get back into the text.
All right. I'm going to keep going. Oh, here's the ephod. In the ephod, God, again, I know that we've been here before. I always want to say that it's the escutcheon, but it's not, right?
No.
It's definitely not.
No.
Okay. Is it the breastplate? Is it the front? The ephod?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the breastplate.
Ephod was the whole.
It's the
cloak.
sleeveless garment.
Yeah.
It's. I think it goes underneath the breastplate. Yes.
Oh, okay. So he made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen. They beat the gold into thin plates and cut it into wires to work it in the blue, in the purple, in the scarlet, and in the fine linen, the work of the skillful workmen. They made shoulder pieces for it joined together. At the two ends, it was joined together. The skillfully woven band that it was on, with which to fasten it on, was the same piece, like its work, of gold, of blue, of purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen, as Yahweh commanded Moses.
Just
Why
the
is he
number of
commanding
times...
Moses to do any of this? Like, Moses doesn't, he's not a gold worker. Wood
Or
gold
a
worker.
woodworker. He's not gonna, make up some kind of joinery that's gonna become what this person wears. Just the number of times we hear that same gold, blue, purple, scarlet, fine twined linen. Like, I want to
Yeah.
make a song out of it.
I'm sure that there is one. Come on, people who know songs of Jesus. Is this a song? Anyone?
That's a good question. I don't think it is, because most Christians got bored and stopped reading by this point.
Yes, exactly.
but-
Most Christians have no idea this exists. I'm willing to bet.
And definitely don't realize that it's said 800 times.
Yes.
All of these things.
Yeah.
Okay. They worked the onyx stones, enclosed in settings of gold, engraved with the engravings of a signet, according to the names of the children of Israel.
Right. Do you remember that each one kind of gets
Yes,
the
yes,
names
it's
of each
the
tribes?
12 different
Yes.
tribes. Okay.
Yes.
He put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod to be stones of memorial for the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded Moses. He made the breastplate the work of a skillful workman, like the work of the ephod of gold, of blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen. Yeah. It was square. They made the breastplate
no, that was
double.
Wait, guys, this is a big deal. We should drink for this.
Why?
It actually said it was square. I feel like every other place, it's like,
It's
and
like
its
a
height
cubit
shall
this
be
and
1.5
cubit that.
cubit, and its width 1.5 cubit equal to the other side. It's like, yeah,
I think
it's
by
a
this
square.
time they're like, that it's a square. Damn it. So they
Finally,
just are
someone
like,
got fed up with repeating this stuff and took some
Yeah.
liberties.
Yeah, like it's
There
a
you go.
square. Come on.
deal with it. It's gonna be fine. I mean, if you want to drink, I'll drink.
All right, let's do it.
It was square. They made the breastplate double. Its length was a span. Its breadth a span, being double.
Ah,
What's
crap.
a span?
There we go.
The span.
The
No, we
span
gotta
is
look
your.
up another.
I think it's the span of your hand, like from your thumb to your pinky. I'm pretty sure that's what a span
What
is.
if someone
Yeah,
has a
that-
teeny weeny hand and someone has a big hand?
Yeah,
big
well,
boy
that's
hand?
the
Well,
problem
we're
with
not
all
being-
of these.
I guess we're only being kind of scientific with these things.
Okay. Okay, well, fine. That's not scientific at all, but sure. They set in it 4 rows of stones. A row of ruby, topaz, and beryl was the first row, and the second row a turquoise, a sapphire, and an emerald, and the third row a jacinth, jacinth, an agate, agate, that's the one, and an amethyst, and the fourth row a crystolite, an onyx, and a
No,
jasper.
hang on. Crystal Light, it was a powdered drink from our childhood. Crystal Light is a gemstone.
What?
Crystolite. But chrysolite is what? A gem of what? Like, I haven't heard
We
of
looked this up
gem.
last time and no one
Yeah,
remembers because
yeah.
everyone was drinking. It's a pretty rock. Let's just leave it at that.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So they were enclosed in gold settings. The stones were according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, everyone according to his name for the 12 tribes. They made on the breastplate chains like cords of braided work of pure gold. They made 2 settings of gold and 2 gold rings, and they put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate.
Okay, when are we going to see this on the runway? I just suddenly had this sense of like does biblical fashion
Aaron
need to
just,
come back? Like someone like Alexander McQueen comes along and is going to be super controversial by like creating this
He's
new fashion line.
dead.
Oh,
Well,
my
whoever
dear.
is the next Alexander McQueen is going to come
Okay.
along and be super controversial and like go put some kind of skinny ass model on the runway wearing
Wow.
like an ephod and this breastplate and see
Nothing else.
and nothing else and see what happens.
yeah. No,
Yes.
I believe it. I could see that happening for sure, like 100%. And I
Well,
think
actually,
it was cool.
and I should put this up in our Instagram, but the Met had a biblical themed fashion
Fashion
week.
show?
Yeah,
What?
the Met has the gala every year,
Yeah.
and this year it was like all biblical themed, like Catholic regalia, and it was really quite gorgeous. But everyone like had to sort of dress in this like ethereal kind of biblical manner.
Right, and Rihanna was the Pope.
Yes, and then at the
Okay.
Met, they also had a bunch of amazing, just amazing like things up that you could go and look at. It was really beautiful. I'll
Cool.
put some stuff up for sure for all y'all. But that's a good point. Okay, so the other two ends of the two braided chains they put on the two settings and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod in the front of it. They made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate and on the edge of it, which was toward the side of the ephod inward. They made 2 rings of gold again and put them on the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod underneath, in the front of it, close by its coupling, above the skillfully woven band of the ephod. They
So,
bound. Yes.
Again, just to reiterate for people, it's kind of making it, they're describing the way that this breastplate's going to be kind of attached to the body, essentially. And it kind of attaches and looks kind of like a strappy little apron, essentially. Like not just a waist apron, but like an apron that, that goes up over your shoulders.
Yeah,
At least
it's
in the
not very
artistic
long,
depictions,
though.
that's what I'm saying. No, it's not very long. The breastplate is literally just on the plate, but then like I think the ephod itself goes a little bit further down and looks more aprony, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, it's again, I was like, oh, that's what it looks like? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. But I guess, yeah, some person trying to decipher this decided, okay, it's actually fairly small. So, okay, they bound the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be on the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not come loose from the ephod, as Yahweh commanded Moses.
Right, because we can't have it flapping around.
Yep. We covered
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah, Yahweh would be most displeased. So he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all blue. The opening of the robe in the midst of it was like the opening of a coat of mail, with its binding around its opening that it should not be torn. So we're talking like a coat of mail, like armor, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made on the skirts of the robe pomegranates of blue, purple, scarlet, and twined linen. Yes, I remember these pomegranates.
Yes.
I remember them. There they are.
Keep
again.
going. There's more specifics
And the
about
bells.
it.
Yes. They made bells of pure gold and put the bells between the pomegranates around the skirt of the robe between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate, a bell
A
and a
bell
pomegranate.
and a pomegranate.
Around the
Oh.
skirt of the robe to minister in as Yahweh commanded Moses.
Oh, I love it. I really want to see this on the runway. I want to see someone take it and make it actually look fashionable and actually look like something that I would want to
Just
wear.
fabulous. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
wait.
quite.
I just had a great idea. I want to start like, I don't know what it is, a cafe or maybe some sort of boutique shop just called A Bell and a Pomegranate.
Oh, I love that.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh my
You
goodness,
should look
it's
that
so
up. How is that not a
hipster.
thing?
Someone's
It's so hipster. I love it.
someone's got to have done this, but
or
yeah.
just bell and pomegranate.
Bell and pomegranate.
Yeah.
But he
Uh-huh.
specifically says a bell and a pomegranate.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess take out the uhs.
I love
take
it
out
though.
the Facebook.
I love
yeah.
it though, where like everywhere else we get these sort of weird roundabout descriptions where we're like scratching our heads trying to understand, and here it's like you're gonna make pomegranates. Also, you're gonna make gold bells in between them. A bell and a pomegranate. A bell and a pomegranate. Like really spells it out so you get like the imagery. I'm like, could you do that with the
Yeah.
rest of it too? Like describe the thing the way you do, and then go, in other words, it looked like this in like simpler terms. It would be much easier to follow.
No, I appreciate that. Yes. They made the coats of the fine linen of woven work for Aaron and for his sons, and the turban of fine linen, and the linen headbands of fine linen, and the linen
heavens.
breeches of fine twined linen, and the sash of fine twined linen in blue and purple and scarlet, the work of the embroiderer as Yahweh commanded Moses. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there.
Lots of linen.
Yeah, just like linen upon linen.
It's like a freaking yoga retreat up in here.
You know what? They need breathable materials is all that I'm saying.
I'm sure they're packing
They're
some
in
man
the
buns under those
desert.
linen turbans.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Wow, man. Wow. Okay. They made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold. Oh, they have a crown?
Yeah, I think we saw that earlier. There's kind of like this metal thing that goes over the turban that's a little bit crown-like.
Oh, wow. Okay, they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold and wrote on it a writing like the engravings of a signet, holy to Yahweh. Okay,
Mhm.
this is what it says on the crown.
That's what they have on their forehead. Just
I
so
also
everyone
love
knows.
Cool.
I also love this
Cool,
section
cool.
that says, and wrote on it a writing.
I
just
think
write a
that's got to
writing
be a
on here.
translation.
As opposed
That's
to
got to be a
anything else.
translation awkwardness.
Yeah, okay.
It has
fine.
to be.
There's quite a bit here, though, I'm assuming. So, okay, they tied it to a lace of blue to fasten it on the turban above, as Yahweh commanded Moses. Thus, all the work of the tent of meeting was finished. The children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Moses, so they did. Well, that's good. They did it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done. The end, right?
Yeah, right? No, not so much. They brought the tent to Moses, the tent with all its furniture, its clasps, its boards, its bars,
What?
its pillars,
Wait,
its...
what? The whole
What?
thing? They brought the
Yeah,
whole
the
thing
whole
to
thing.
Moses.
They just
Or-
like picked it up
okay.
and dropped it in front of Moses.
Or did they build it and then bring Moses to it? It
I
seems a
don't-
little bit ridiculous.
It says they brought the tent to Moses, and the Bible,
Maybe
that
it's like
what it
okay.
says goes, okay?
So it's like a demonstration where they have to also demonstrate the extreme functionality and portability
Yeah.
of said tent.
How fast they can set
Yes.
it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
There you
to
totally
go.
make
what
sure
it
they
is.
get Moses interested as a venture capitalist.
Yep.
There you go. He's like, oh, look at this thing.
It's
Okay.
like it's like Shark Tank. They're like, let's give you
Yeah.
our demo of how this thing works, and Moses is like,
Yeah.
I'll give you $100,000 for 40%.
And you can assemble
Yeah.
it in 20 minutes. As long as you have
Exactly.
600,000 people at your disposal.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So, yes, they brought the tent to Moses, the tent with all its furniture, its clasps, its boards, its bars, its pillars, its sockets, the covering of ram skins dyed red, the covering of sea cow hides, the veil of the screen, the ark of the testimony with its poles, the mercy seat, the table, all its vessels, the show bread. They even brought the frickin' bread.
Yeah, this is like a freaking circus. It's like
Yeah.
they need
seriously,
circus
this is a circus.
carts and trucks to
Gosh.
transport all of this.
The pure lampstand, its lamps, even the lamps to be set in order, all its vessels, the oil for the light, the golden altar, the anointing oil, the sweet incense, the screen door of the tent, the brazen altar, its grating of brass, its poles, all of its vessels, the basin in its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars, its sockets, the screen for the gate
Okay,
of the
was
court.
this like their
Good
okay, was this
God.
like their writer where they also like and please no green M&Ms on top of all of this? Like right?
Or
I
is,
don't know, man.
Yeah, or is this more of like, let's just finish up this contract and make sure, let's recap that we've covered all of the items that were mentioned before.
Yeah, someone like check,
Well, we
check,
did like
all
we
of
did the
this.
invoice thing before where it was like and it cost this much and it cost this much and it cost this much, and now is this like the standard list that we consult every time we need to deconstruct and then also reconstruct?
Oh, that's good.
Yes, I think
Tent?
that's good. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's like
you
yeah.
do in theater when you're running a crew.
Like
and
when
you
we're on
gotta-
tour.
It's like when we went on
We have a-
tour. Yeah, and we had that
Uh-huh.
yeah,
list.
and we have a
of
list
like,
of all of our stuff.
Right.
Yep, that's totally
Yeah,
what
there
it
it
is.
is.
Okay, great.
So, okay. The hangings of the court, its pillars, its sockets, the screen gate of the court, its cords, its pins, all the instruments of the service of the tent for the tent of meeting, the finely worked garments for ministering in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office. Full stop. According to all that Yahweh commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did all the work. Moses saw all the work, and behold, they had done it as Yahweh had commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moses blessed them.
Wow.
Well, thank goodness that he did.
And Moses is like, do it all again. It's not quite right.
Moses is like, I hate it.
Moses
Get
is
out
like, this
of
is
my
what you get
sight.
for doing this golden calf thing.
Yeah. We're going to do all this again. We're going to talk about it again. I don't even know. That was something, all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh boy, are you ready to continue?
Our last chapter.
This
Yes,
is it.
I'm so ready.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
ready. I'm so ready.
Bring us home. I'm so ready to be moving on from this book. I say that knowing that we're heading into Leviticus, but I don't care.
Okay.
Every day is progress. Let's just focus on each day. This is good.
Yeah,
Okay,
a little at a time.
the last chapter, Exodus 40. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, on the first day of the month, you shall raise up the tent of meeting. So I think they haven't set it up. I think they just brought all this
Oh
stuff.
my goodness, they brought. Oh my goodness.
Wait,
oh my
what?
goodness.
Right?
What? Okay.
Okay, no, what we're heading into here is now the extended IKEA instructions of like, first it was the instructions of how you make all of these pieces, and now I'm going to tell you the
What?
order of putting these pieces together. It's like a
okay,
very
that's what you think?
complicated model
Okay.
airplane.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, this is the actual IKEA instructions. The other was like the factory instructions at IKEA. And this is maybe that's it. We'll see. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
On the first day of the first month, you shall raise up the tent of meeting. You shall put the ark of the testimony in it, and you shall screen the ark with the veil. So, yeah, put that
Okay.
veil up. You shall bring in
Yeah.
the table and set in order the things that are on it. You shall bring in the lampstand and light the lamps of it.
I just love the lampstand. It's
Yeah.
like some random lamp, but it's not. It's a menorah.
But you're imagining it with like a lampshade and stuff on it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I
it's
was
just
thinking one of those like
cute.
IKEA standing lamps. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shall set the golden altar for incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the screen of the door to the tent. You shall set the altar of burnt offering before the door of the tent of meeting. You shall
Oh,
set
okay, so that goes outside the tent, the altar of the burnt
the
offering.
burnt offering one, yeah.
Yes.
Inside's the table with like the bread and stuff, but then
Showbread,
outside's the
yes.
burnt offering.
Showbread.
That makes sense because you don't want to like soot up the,
You don't want to
The
set up. You don't
showbread.
want it to sound like smell like burnt animal.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
That makes
No,
sense.
you
That
don't.
makes sense.
Uh-huh.
You shall set the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and shall put water therein. I see. So it's like a little ways away from the door. It's not right outside.
Right, and so that was
Okay.
kind of like the cleansing water before going into the tent.
Right,
Okay.
right. And you shall set up the court around it, and hang up the screen of the gate of the court. Right. Okay. So sure. Another screen. Okay. You shall take the anointing oil and anoint the tent and all that is in it, and shall make it holy and all its furniture, and it will be holy.
And oily.
And
Also
oily. Yes.
Oily and hoily.
Hoily, yes.
Is it possible that in the translation, the words like oily and holy are very similar? Or maybe.
I'm sorry to break this to you, but we made this joke already.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
You shall. I was
Wow,
drinking.
how many times was that
Come
gonna
on.
happen?
Okay, you shall anoint the altar of burnt offering with all its vessels and sanctify the altar, and the altar will be most holy.
Ugh.
You shall anoint the basin and its base and sanctify it. Basically, everything we just talked about, you're anointing it.
Yeah. Again.
You shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tent of meeting, and you shall wash them with water. You shall put on Aaron the holy garments, and you shall anoint him and sanctify him, that he may minister to me in the priest's office.
Wait, do you anoint him with oil? Like, so you
Mhm. I
put
think
on
so,
his
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
throw some oil on him?
Yeah.
You oil
And
him
then-
down. Yeah.
Okay, but won't that get him his pretty garments?
Probably,
Is all I'm
but,
saying.
but that's fine because it's good smelling oil. So I think they're like,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, like
Okay, and
essential
it's not
oil.
like
Yeah.
a huge amount. It's just like a
Yeah.
little oil.
I think you just pour a little bit on top of the head, I believe, is how I've seen it depicted.
Okay.
But that
That's
could be
weird.
incorrect. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good
You don't
question.
like throw a huge amount.
So it's just
on
kind of
them.
like a conditioning treatment for the scalp.
I
Okay.
see.
really.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't want dry scalp. It is very
No,
dry
no.
in the desert.
Yes.
Okay. This makes sense.
You shall bring his sons and put coats on them. You shall anoint them as you anointed their father, that they may minister to me in the priest's office. Their anointing shall be to them for an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Got it. So yeah, Aaron and all his descendants, they're the priests forever. Thus did Moses, according to all that Yahweh commanded him, so he did. It happened in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tent was raised up.
So does that imply that it took a year for them to pull all this together? I wouldn't be surprised.
That's pretty impressive.
We also might have started it midway through the year.
Yes.
Like it's unclear kind of where in this year
Yes.
we started
Yes.
this. Okay, so in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, the tent was raised up. Moses raised up the tent and laid its sockets and set the boards of it and put the bars of it and raised up its pillars. He spread the covering over the tent and put the roof of the tent above on it, as
Wait,
Yahweh
hang on.
commanded Moses.
Moses is doing all this by himself. What a trooper.
I don't think he is, though, or just earlier
But
it said
it's
he
so
made
much
all the
more
he's
things.
the only
fun.
one that they talk about.
It's so much more
doing
fun to
anything.
envision. Everyone's standing around watching,
And being like, okay, here it
Poor
is.
little Moses.
Good luck with that.
assembling these things.
See, I was thinking it's like parents on Christmas Eve, where he like stays up all night putting it together, so everyone's like, "Whoa, the tent
Someone's
of
like,
meetings
"Whoa."
here."
That would be awesome. I like
Aw, that's very sweet. I like that.
that. That's cute.
Gosh, where was I? He spread the covering over the tent. Yeah, put the roof of the tent above on it, as Yahweh commanded Moses. He took and put the testimony into the ark, and set the poles on the ark, and put the mercy seat above on the ark. He brought the ark into the tent. I don't think he could carry that himself. Come on.
Yeah, there's supposed to be like poles on either side.
Right?
He's like, whatever, I got it.
We watched Indy and his friend pick it up in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
Yeah,
Yes,
Takes
man.
two
but
people.
remember, Moses has a perpetually glowing face at this point. He's imbued with the power of Yahweh.
Right.
I think
Okay,
if
so
he wanted to, he
got
could
it.
do it.
yeah, maybe he just
Alright.
levitates it or something.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
That would be
He's got
awesome.
the force now.
He brought the ark into the tent and set up the veil of the screen and screened the ark of the testimony as Yahweh commanded Moses. Oh my gosh, this is going to be the same thing again.
Yep.
Okay. He put the table in the tent of meeting on the side of the tent northward outside of the veil. He set the bread in order on it before Yahweh as Yahweh commanded Moses. He put the lampstand in the tent of meeting opposite the table on the side of the tent southward. He lit the lamps before Yahweh as Yahweh commanded Moses. He put the altar in the tent of meeting before the veil, and he burnt incense of sweet spices on it as Yahweh commanded Moses.
I'm sorry. I'm just too in love with the image of Moses doing this all by himself. That's canon
Very
now.
lovingly burning
Yeah.
the incense
Yeah,
with
that's
these
canon.
sweet, sweet spices.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. It's
loves
just
it.
Moses doing it all by himself. I'm into it. Okay.
He's getting a kick out of it, okay? He loves it.
Okay. In this Bible book club, that's canon. Okay. He put up the screen of the door to the tent. He set the altar of burnt offering at the door of the tent of meeting, and offered on it the burnt offering and the meal offering, as Yahweh commanded Moses.
Productive. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess didn't have to do the wave offering or the
Oh, yeah.
What was the other
You
one?
forgot about the
The-
wave offering.
God.
The heave
heave offering. Yes,
the heave
thank
offering.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine every time before you have to sit down to assemble your IKEA desk, you have to do some burnt offering and some anointing?
Oh, you don't?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I mean,
I don't.
I-
Maybe the two of you do.
I
This is
do
only a
offer up
thing-
the Swedish meatballs and give like the elderflower juice anointing.
They have vegan versions of those now.
Oh,
Oh,
I haven't
nice.
tried
wonderful.
them, but-
So then you have no excuse, Emily, before, I don't know when's the next time you're planning to set up some IKEA furniture, but
I don't know, man.
Next time we're all in town together next month, we should all take a field trip to IKEA and really like
And what,
experience.
just randomly anoint some stuff over there?
Well,
Well,
just
throw us out.
reminisce on how IKEA, was so informed by the Bible and was really like a tribute to Exodus.
All right.
Okay,
I like
anyway.
that.
So he offered the meal offering, yes. He set the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar and put water therein with which to wash. Moses, Aaron, and his sons washed their hands and their feet there. When they went into the tent of meeting and when they came near to the altar, they washed, as Yahweh commanded Moses. He raised up the court around the tent and the altar and set up the screen of the gate of the court. So Moses finished his work by himself.
Good job,
Wow,
Moses.
good job, Moses.
Crack a beer.
Yeah,
You've
for
earned
sure.
it.
Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of Yahweh filled the tent. Moses wasn't able to enter into the tent of meeting because the cloud stayed on it, and Yahweh's glory filled the tent.
What?
Well, that's
Wait,
anticlimactic for
what?
Moses.
He's not allowed to go inside?
He's
He
not
just
allowed
set
in.
all of that up, and Yahweh's like,
Or-
no, my glory.
Hang on a second. Is it Moses specifically can't go inside? Or is it that while this glorious cloud is there, no one can go inside? Moses just happened to be the one there. Which is it? That seems like such a ripoff to make Moses assemble all these things and be
Oh,
the
it's
freaking
definitely a
messenger and
ripoff.
go between. And then he's like, nah, sorry, Moses, you can't come in for some reason.
Yeah, no, this is I remember this. I remember learning about
you
this. Yes.
What did
Really?
you What did you learn about?
What I remember is being taught the fact that Moses was not ever allowed to
Okay,
enter the tent of
hang
meeting.
on a second,
What?
though.
That's so dumb.
Hang on a second,
I don't like
Jace.
it.
Yeah.
You might be projecting and confusing it with something that happens later. No spoilers, but later on
What
in the
book?
Torah, Moses is prohibited from going somewhere that everyone else gets to go.
Wait. Moses is still going to happen in later books?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to die in these last like 3 chapters or 3 verses. Moses
I know.
is still
I kind of
happening.
thought that was what was going to happen. I was like, he's going to die now. And then Moses bid
gonna
farewell
collapse.
to the world.
Yeah.
He
but
handed
that's
over
not
his Allen wrench.
Okay, we're not finished yet. And
Not quite.
Moses wasn't able to enter into the tent of meeting because the cloud stayed on it, and Yahweh's glory filled the tent. When the cloud was taken up from over the tent, the children of Israel went onward throughout all their journeys. But if the cloud wasn't taken up, then they didn't travel until the day that it was taken up.
So this is how Yahweh is communicating to them, stay put for a while versus it's time to go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For the cloud of Yahweh was on the tent by day, and there was fire in the cloud by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys.
Gosh.
The
The
end.
end.
Wow.
That was also anticlimactic.
But
That's
no,
okay.
this was taught to me that Moses does not get to
Really?
enter the tent of meeting. Yes. I'm not confusing this with another story.
Okay.
That is-
wasn't taken
That is,
out.
but I don't remember there like ever being an explanation for why. It was just kind of
Yeah.
like, and he couldn't enter
Too bad,
it.
Moses.
And then now that I'm reading it, I'm like, wait, does that mean that like, is it because it said before that only Aaron and his sons with their holy vestments
Oh.
could go in, and Moses doesn't have those, so he can't? Which then also
that's
makes me
interesting.
go like, but WTF? Because Aaron's the one who made the golden calf, and Moses has been God's homie
I
the whole
know,
time.
right?
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 Well, life isn't fair, I think, is the resounding lesson that
Uh-huh.
we're taking from that. At
I kind of
least.
think Aaron is God's favorite.
Oh, the secret favorite?
Maybe. I mean, Moses is like his, little lapdog, and he's done a lot for him and like run up the mountain
Oh.
and stayed up there 40 days twice, and made this entire tent for him, assembled it at least. And
By
yet-
himself.
Aaron is the one where he's like, you're going to be the priest, your sons are going to be the priests, you're going to be like the sanctified holy ones.
Yeah.
That is
Good job, bro.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not
bullshit,
consider
but-
that.
That's what God decided.
And like we talked about a few episodes ago in the bonus content too, is that in later years there's been some contention over, is it only the lineage of Aaron, or all of the lineage of the tribe to which Aaron belonged that are allowed to be the priests. So there is like
Interesting.
Right.
all of this set up some precedents for like, this is how this religion's going to get run, that have been
Right.
debated and argued about since then.
Well, here's a quick question, and I think we'll probably get more into this at the beginning of our next episode, but that's the wrap on Exodus. We can have our little wrap party later on, I suppose. Next is the book of Leviticus, and
I know nothing about this book.
nothing at all. If I say Leviticus or if I say Levitical law, does that ring any bells for you?
Apparently
Bells or
law.
pomegranates?
There's going to be a law section.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know. I thought that like on BibleStudyTools.com we saw like some article that said like why you should read Leviticus even if you don't want to.
Oh, you're right. I think
Yeah.
I
I
saved
already-
that article.
No, I'm
Yeah.
like 10 steps ahead of you, and I already read it, and I couldn't finish reading it. It wasn't
Well,
as exciting
There
as
you go. All right. Well, be that as it may. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know about Levitical law, but I'm excited to learn, and I'm excited for all of you to join us when we get into a brand new book of the Bible next week.
Yeah, and stick around for some bonus content. If you're a patron, you can do that by going to patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy, where we are going to be doing kind of a recap of what we learned in Exodus and preparing ourselves to move on to Leviticus.
Thank you for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including bonus episodes, new series, guest interviews, and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. Find us on Twitter at Drunk Biblecast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Dedeker Winston, Jace Lindgren, and me, Emily Matlack. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. The theme song for the book of Exodus is Our Story Begins by Kevin MacLeod. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.